Welcome to the Win Make Give podcast. Chad Hyams here, Bob Stewart over there. Bob, how you doing today?
Dude, that was right before we jumped on. Your Canadian in you just like flared out of you. You were like, let's go, man. I got a hockey game to watch. Like,
yes. Bob, have you been watching?
Unless you're part Canadian, you know what I'm saying?
Have you been watching the Olympics?
So you know what's funny? Last night, my wife, like I'll sit out on the couch. She's in the other room. She's like kind of doing her thing, and I'm doing my thing. And she hears Sarah Brightman coming off of the TV. You know who Sarah Brightman is? She's like an opera singer, right?
Yeah.
She's like, why are you listening to Sarah Brightman? Kind of yells. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, I'm watching the Olympics. And she's like, why is Sarah Brightman playing on the Olympics? And I'm like, it's the figure skating, yes. Which led into a whole like, what? You like watching figure skating? I'm like, no, not really. But I love watching the Olympics. So yes, Chad, I watch it every night. I have it on. And I'll watch the curling, the
curling is awesome. Curling is awesome, Bob Stewart. It's awesome.
The bobsled, is it the bobsled is nuts, dude. Did you see the video of who was
Colin
it?
On the
yeah.
Colin doing it? Yes. It made the viral feeds, right?
Yeah, it was like Colin Jost, right? He did
yes.
it, and like I don't think like until you're inside that thing and kind of watch, you're like, it doesn't really look that aggressive from the outside, right?
But the thing's always bouncing. I mean, just go like this.
Walk away and be like, I thought I was gonna die. I've never really like. You know, you don't really hear the perspective of somebody that's not a bobsledder talk about riding down in a bobsled. So I'm even more fascinated by the bobsled now than I've ever been.
Because you are Bob Stewart, I'm guessing. And of course, Bob, it's the there's been a lot of things that people have been looking forward to and building up in the 2026 Winter Olympics, which are coming near an end while we're recording this. They were looking at Ilya, the quad god, right, who was supposed to go out and do this amazing routine.
He fell. I watched that. He fell twice?
He fell. He pulled out of one of his jumps. I mean, it was a huge disaster in that sense of what he was being built up to be.
I bet it's a comeback story at some point. The kid's like 21 or 22 years old. Like,
yes.
He'll come back.
He's got a lot of Olympics left in him if he keeps skating and can keep skating at that level. Yet to me, the thing that has been built up to all year has been Team Canada versus Team USA for the gold medal in the hockey game.
Was it like the World Championships a year ago where they had the game where like started the game, everybody threw their gloves down and they all started fighting on the whole rink?
No, it was just the Kachuk brothers 9 seconds into the game that started all the hockey fighting. In the Olympics, fighting is not allowed. You are suspended if you're caught fighting.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's the rule. There was a fight earlier. Nobody did get suspended, yet they threaten that so that there's nothing in the gold medal game.
More of a gray area of the rules, not a black and white thing. Okay, got it.
So Bob, earlier today, Team Canada came back in overtime to beat Czechia and move on, and now the United States is battling Sweden as we speak. So
you told me this is going to be a 3-minute episode.
Yes.
You got to get out of here. Chad's got, you've got TiVo or whatever, right? Like you've got it paused.
Bob, the sports don't work that way. You can't watch, you can't watch sports on demand after the fact because you can
watch a half-hour delay or an hour. You just got to turn your phone upside down and you can't look at your phone because it's going to, mine's going to notify me every time the Seahawks score a touchdown. So I got to turn it over for sure.
I have it on the other screen. So I'm watching the score on the other screen. So if you ask me a question during this episode and I don't answer, it's because I'm watching the score over there. Yet you just mentioned one of the most powerful tools that has ever been created that can fit in your pocket, and that's your cell phone, Bob. And that's what I really want to talk about today, because I've been paying attention to this over the last while with people. And I think for most people, Bob, their cell phone's actually working against them, not for them. Okay, because that device can build your business or it can drain your focus. That device can deepen relationships with people or weaken your attention span. It's not the tool itself, it's how the tool gets used. So I want to talk about that today and break down. I got a 6 list for us. I've sent you the things so we can discuss them and gave you some notes that you have, and you've done some research before our call here as well. 6 ways you can turn your phone into a weapon for success instead of the distraction machine that it is.
I mean, I'm one of the most guilty in the history of the world at this. Admittedly, an addictive personality, Chad. I've luckily been able to sidestep the really kind of life-altering, terrible addictions like drugs and alcohol and these things. But I have an addictive personality. This phone was designed to suck every piece of productivity that's possible in my brain in a given day right out of me and make me a totally useless blob on the couch. So this is, like I'm, right? I mean, I'm a student today, my friend. I'm a student.
You can deepen relationships. I already said this right at the beginning. Right? You can deepen relationships because, boy, you can stay in touch with people that we couldn't the old ways, or were so much more difficult to in the olden days before this technology showed up, whether it's that old or not. And then at the other side, it can weaken your attention span. I have found nights that Nita and I won't talk to each other for like 2 hours because we're both just sitting there on our phones side by side. And, you know, the relationship is going the wrong way instead of going the right way because and we'll say, oh my God, do you realize what we just did? The next day, the phones don't even come out of the room, so we don't do it. Bob, I want to give some data here. I went and I did some quick research on some data. Average smartphone user. You want to guess how many times the average smartphone user checks their phone per day?
148.
You hit the top end, Bob. It's 90 to 150 times a day that people check their smartphone on average. That's amazing. If you think about how many hours you're awake in a day, let's say that's 12 hours. I mean, it should be more than 12 hours, but I'm just going to say, let's say you're awake 15 hours for easy math. That means you check your phone 10 times every hour on average.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
I mean, we've all heard of somebody say this. Maybe it was us that said it. Like, they take their phone. Like sometimes we do these masterminds. It's like you walk in the door, you put your phone down, like in the bucket or whatever, right? And it's like no, and you will have people sitting in the room that will like reach for their pocket, as if their brain sent a signal saying they felt a buzz on their leg from some kind of a notification that their brain is so used to feeling that when they do not have it in hand's reach or in their pocket, they still feel the buzz on their leg. Like that's
Bob,
how.
I don't know the study behind it is when you lose a limb, and I'm not that they say there's the phantom pain, right? You can still feel the pain in your fingers and your hands had to been amputated or something. It's the phone has become a part of us like that. You're right. Average American, you want to just guess how many hours a day they're on their mobile device?
4.5.
Yeah, it's 3 to 4 plus hours a day. Depends how you use it, right? I mean, people in sales might actually be doing it and making phone calls. So for 3 hours of that, it's actually being business used. And we know that multitasking is not truly possible. It's switch tasking. We can't do multiple things at the same time. And studies have shown that the cell phone has absolutely destroyed our ability to focus because we get into a context switching event regularly with it. So my question to our audience is your phone helping you or is your phone quietly draining you? Bob, if I asked you that question, do you think your phone is helping you or do you think it's draining you?
Oh man. I think if I'm being honest with myself, there are plenty of days where it's a battle to not allow it to drain me. I mean, I have to purposely set it down in a certain place as I move into the rest of the house. Like I struggle with it, man.
Okay. And here's the thing. It's not the phone. It's you. Right. And that's not meant as an attack on Bob. That's to all of us out there. The phone is some neutral piece of plastic and parts, right? It's how we choose to use it. I think the worst invention we ever had was the pager, right? It meant everyone could get a hold of you. You had to go stop because we weren't all running around with cell phones. You had to go stop to respond to whatever they were sending you. The cell phone's the same thing. How many times is it more used as it's a way people track you, get a hold of you, than you are being purposeful? So, Bob, I want to talk about the 6 ways to use your phone to win. And number 1, I'm going to make so flippin' obvious. Use it as a phone.
What?
Right. What? When was the last time you actually picked up your phone and just called somebody on your phone, Bob.
Look, this could be a generational thing, Chad. I'm Gen X, right? Like, so I'm definitely a texter. I'll text as a kind of primary communication method, surface level. But if there's anything that needs to get figured out, understood better, relayed it with nuance, like I'm immediately a phone call, right? In fact, we were on our last, we were recording something prior to this episode, and I get off. I got 15 text messages, and 2 of them, the response was, "Hey, can I call you this afternoon on this thing?" So I'm a big caller. Well, here's something I've been doing recently. Once a week, I did it last night. That's why it's fresh in my head. By the way, I didn't know we were going to talk about this, so that's just serendipitous that last night I did this. But once a week, I just call somebody that I haven't, like somebody that I care about the relationship, but I haven't talked to them in too long. I don't have I'm not doing we had a podcast guest one time that said he would scroll all the way to the end, the bottom of his text messages, and he would reach out to that person. There's not a lot of thought to it right now. Last night, the call was to a good friend of mine, Jimmy C. And I did it because he posted something about his dad. And we spent a lot of time together in our 20s and would go on these fishing trips. And his dad was a big part of those fishing trips. His dad passed away 5 or 6 years ago, and it was his dad's birthday yesterday. So Jimmy had posted something. I could have texted. I could. The first thing is I could have left a comment on the Facebook post. In fact, I did. I did leave a comment. I wrote "Big Jim!" exclamation points because that was his dad's name. I said, "Hey, miss your dad. Some of my favorite memories in life were with him at the other end of the boat." But it made me think, you know what? This week, I'm calling Jimmy. And so I called him, Chad, not because I'm trying to get him to meet with me for a business appointment, not because, he had something that I was after. Like, I just wanted to deepen that relationship with him. And so I just used it as a phone. I used it as a way to leave a Facebook message for him, which would have been much less consequential than the 40 minutes I spent on the phone with a good friend of mine who our lives don't, segment in the way or cross each other in the way they used to in our 20s. But anyway.
And now we'll see, Bob, is that a one time you called him, or is that this is what I do every day is I randomly scroll through and find someone I haven't talked to in a while. And
so for me, I'm going to do it once a week is what I've been doing. Like I've gotten into this rhythm of reaching out to people in my world that are important. Some of them are personal friends like Jimmy was. Some of these are business acquaintances. So yeah, I just want to get in the habit of building relationship, using the phone with people that I've maybe, there's been some neglect, not on me necessarily, not on them necessarily, just right. Like life goes in a certain direction and those are relationships I want to strengthen. I think using your phone as a phone, as simple as silly as that sounds, is like the best way to build a relationship short of seeing them in person. And most of these people are spread all across the United States.
Yeah. Entrepreneurs hide behind text, Bob. They really do. They say, "I'm so busy. Let me just text. It's just a minute to text. I can only text." Yet, how many times does a text get misinterpreted? How many times does a text not solve the problem? How many times is a text us avoiding what needs to be said, right? Opportunities live in voice situations. I don't know anybody who's ever been offered a job over a text. They get a call, right?
Chad,
there might be the text to say I'm going to call, yet it's a call that makes it happen.
Here, if you're in sales, I will just tell you this. I in my day-to-day job, I spent a lot of time studying the data around real estate sales. Now, with this, I would be willing to bet this is a very common. This happens in other industries as well. If you're selling something, and I see one of your notes here is that live voices help us build trust faster with somebody than a blind conversation. We don't know who's on the other end of that thing via text, but we've studied like the relationship in the real estate industry between the number of phone calls and the number of people I speak to on the phone versus the propensity for me to pull appointments out of my database, Chad. I set out 1 month. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, there's got to be a similar correlation then to texting. And so we set out, look, in data, in stats, if you want to prove something, you can generally figure out a way to prove it in the data or the stats. So I actually set out, because I believe that like sending, 1,000 text messages would lead to more business in these databases than sending 100. It wasn't true. No matter how I tried to slice and dice the data to get the answer I wanted, it wasn't true. So I have hard data here in our organization that says a phone call, in terms of like setting an appointment with somebody you want to do business with, is much preferred to a text message.
There you go. Right. Texts maintain, calls accelerate.
I like that.
Right. A text maintains, calls accelerate. So here, I'm challenging everybody. Make 3 intentional calls a day. Pick up your phone as a phone at least 3 times a day and purposefully call someone. I don't care if it's business. I don't care if it's a friend. I don't care what it is. Call someone instead of sending that text 3 times every day. Do it at the beginning of the day, do it around the middle of the day, and do it before you call the end of the day. Conversations are brief over text, easily distracted from, easily distracted during. Phone calls matter. Keep that in mind. All right. Number 2, Bob. Number 2 on our list of things to use the phone for to help us, not hurt us, make it a focused tool. Okay? Do not disturb is a setting that comes on your phone. Now, I know how to teach you how it works on Android or on Apple. They might call it something else on Android. We're not judging your phone. I mean, if you're running around on a BlackBerry or a flip phone, you might not have this. It might just be called the power button, right? Yet do not disturb is a successful thing that we have on our phone. And a lot of people use it occasionally. Winners truly schedule it. Bob, do you use the do not disturb feature on your phone?
No.
Okay.
But so I wasn't even sure where it was. I kind of had a hunch I knew where it was. So like literally as you're saying
Is that
this,
why I see your phone in front of the screen? You're looking for it?
I'm over here on the side. So I did the little swipe down in the top right corner. There's a little, it says focus on mine. It's got a little moon or whatever. And so I clicked that and now I'm realizing like, oh, okay, do not disturb. Like there's settings around it. I can go into the settings.
You can make on the Apple phone, you can customize what gets through. Yeah.
Yep. I can set a schedule. I can say, I do my lead generation prospecting time is from 9 to noon. And let me put it on do not disturb from 9 to noon. I should probably have one on here, Chad, for every Wednesday from noon to 2. I should probably have one on here at 10:30 when we're doing the Just Do It webinars. And so
absolutely. And that's the difference. Some people think to put it on. Winners truly schedule it. Now, there are a lot of people out there going, well, I got that one then, Chad. I'm scheduled. Yeah, I'll bet your schedule is bedtime. And it goes into do not disturb mode at like whatever bedtime is to you. And it comes out of do not disturb time at whatever wake-up-ish time is for you. And you're just doing it so no one bothers you while you sleep. Right? Mine goes into do not disturb time 2.5 hours before bedtime, so that I have purposeful time with my wife at the end of every day and I'm not being interrupted by my phone. And it doesn't come out of do not disturb time until after my priority stuff in the morning. So I've gotten my workout in, I've gotten my priority tasks done before I even let it come out. And then Bob, mine is on do not disturb right now because it automatically knows every Wednesday at this time, I don't want my phone beeping at me. I can see that there are texts on it. Yet it hasn't gone beep once while I'm sitting here doing this. Okay? You can set up what it does, right? That it blocks this person or it blocks out that person or it blocks out these people or it only lets these 4 people through because I picked them. Okay? This helps you because notifications trigger dopamine loops. That's where we get into the problem you were talking about. People feel the vibration. They get that dopamine from somebody commented on something. Someone texted me something. Somebody whatever. Hell, it's spam half the time, folks. Interruption teaches you distraction.
This is years ago now. There was one point where, I don't know, I probably had 20 apps that I allowed to send notifications through to me. And today it's 0. Like I don't have any apps barking at me throughout. I let my text messages come through. I lie. There's one, the sneakers app I'll let come through because I want to make sure that I don't miss the Jordans. But I don't let like Facebook the best way to get a hold of me is text. The worst way to get a hold of me is like a Facebook message. Cause I don't even know. Like I don't have any 10s on my thing. I literally don't even let them pop off. So they don't pop up. They're not sitting there as numbers that some of you guys are so like, you can't have anything on your deal and everything's got to be cleared out. I don't care. I don't know if Facebook message, if it's in there, I'll see it the next time I'm on Facebook, maybe. So
I have WhatsApp because I've got a group of friends. They chat through WhatsApp. I've got a few people.
It's essentially text, right? It's a group text.
It's another text platform. I don't let it make a noise at me. I do let it show me a number so I know that there's something going on. Because sometimes they'll get into a conversation. Someone will ask a trivia question and then it'll go like 104 comments as they're guessing.
Chad,
and
real quick, here, trivia question, real quick.
What's the score in the high
you
school?
went to school in Canada, so I don't expect you to know this, but I'm shocked by how many people don't know this. Without looking, without Googling, you have 5 seconds to tell me what number president was, if George Washington was number one, which we know he was, what number president was Abraham Lincoln?
No, I don't know. I'm going to guess like 12.
He was 16.
Okay.
I'm shocked. My wife and I had a disagreement. She said I won't even. She thought he was early, 2, 3, 4, something like that. I can't remember.
No, I knew he wasn't that.
I was like, what? Like are you kidding me? Right? And in my head, I'm like 90% of people will know Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president. And she's like, you're friggin' weird. Like nobody has a brain. That's a weird brain that you got over there. And I'm like, surely we called 10 people, 10 of our friends, people that I would have, one of them I was blown away by. He was an educator for years. And he was like, oh, I don't know, like 5. I'm like, what? I called 10 people. It wasn't until I called, guess who was the first one to finally get it?
Ben?
Yeah, Ben. And so originally I told my wife, I'm like, I think 90% of people know this. And she's like, you're a weirdo. You're a fool. You're a weirdo. There's no way. Quit trying to make me feel like I'm not that smart because I don't know this, right? And I'm like, everybody will know this. And then we started calling people and nobody knew this.
No. Bob,
Even
it's like
people
the kids who know the capitals or they know the states, they know the list of the presidents because that's what they're taught and they remember it. Yet, no.
I don't know why. Here's my wife's thing, though. She's like, well, yeah, it must be easy being you. You don't remember anything about what we got going on this week or next week at the house. You're not planning any of the stuff, which is all true, by the way, right? She's like, it must be nice to have all that extra room in your head to remember totally useless shit like Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president. But I was blown away. I thought more people.
Bob, we've all got Cliff Clavin information in our head, which is that useless trivia.
I am kind of a Jeopardy like aficionado weirdo. I got all this useless stuff floating around up there. All right, sorry. How did I get over here? I don't know. Let's go back. Number 3, Chad.
Nobody should. Okay, folks. So number 2, use it as a focus tool. Teach it the hours that you are committing to certain activities and teach it to go into a focused mode so it stops disturbing you and alerting you on the way. Bob, number 3 on my list here is a vision board on your lock screen. Everybody builds these vision boards and then they leave them somewhere and maybe they look at them, maybe they don't. I don't know where they're putting them. What's your lock screen?
I have my boys.
That's what I mean. I will, if you want to guess 90% of people knew what president number he is, I guess 90% of people have their family or their pet on their lock screen. Ben Kinney had his goals.
Yeah.
Right? He wrote them out. He made a shot of it or whatever, and he made it the picture that was on it. So every time he picked up his phone, he saw those. He knew what his goals were. Maybe I won't go play Angry Birds or whatever game I'm going to play now because I see my goals. Am I working towards that? Right? You don't notice those screens. Use that as an opportunity to have that environmental trigger that you pick up your phone and it's, even if it's subconscious, it's reminding you what your goals are, Bob. What's your word of the year? What's your picture to describe it? Go on ChatGPT and tell it what your goals are. What your word of the year is if you do that and say, generate me an image to inspire me to make this happen. And then go make that picture your desktop.
Yeah, I think that's And there's a lot of research to suggest that like the triggers in our environment like influence our decisions, Chad. They will subconsciously, we don't realize it, but like I go to pick that phone up and I think I'm going to, waste the next hour playing Clash of Clans or whatever stupid game I'm playing. And I'm met as I go to do it with my top 3 goals this year, which are have a better relationship with my wife, have a better relationship with my kids. And, I'll save my third one, but, it could stop you in your tracks, right? Like sometimes it'd be a conscious decision. Sometimes it's a subconscious decision, but I think this makes a lot of sense. I think I'm going to change mine. I don't know. I'm undecided. I'm probably on the lock screen. I'll change on the background of when I have my phone open. I'm not sure. I'll still have the boys back there probably.
There you got the boys and the boys, right? So think about that, folks. How can you make a vision board or an image for your lock screen or your background that you're always staring at? Something that truly is inspiring, talking to you, not just some generic. And I don't mean that your family's generic. And don't justify that, Bob has a picture of his boys, so that's good enough. No, it's not, right? That's very different than seeing your goals or some image you've created that represents what those goals truly are. All right, Bob, number 4.
Mental recharge. I like this one.
There you go. Yeah.
But it has to have limits, right? Well, I don't think your phone has to be entirely about discipline. I mean, let's be realistic, right?
Which is why I didn't leave this for 6, right? I wanted to make sure we didn't just wait till the bottom and say, now. No, this matters. You're right.
I think you can use it to intentionally disengage from your work, get your brain kind of centered. I have anxiety, so like this is like a bigger thing for me. Like I can sense when I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed. I'm like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna go sit on the couch for a minute. I'm gonna let the brain kind of unwind and then not really be just in think mode, which most of the day at work it's in think mode. But the danger here, and I will literally set an alarm on my phone, Chad. I'm like, I'm gonna go, you know what? I got my next call's at 2:00. It's 1:33 right now. I'm going to go grab something to eat. And with whatever time I have left, 12 minutes, I'm just going to set an alarm for 1 minute before I got to go to my deal. And I'm 11 minutes where I don't know, sometimes it's a little piece of a podcast that Ben sent us that I want to knock the first third out on at 1.5.
That'll be the next tip. That's the next tip.
Okay. What else are you ahead of myself?
Yeah. So, what else are you doing?
Look, I've got a couple of people that I like to follow on YouTube. Sometimes I'll go watch a Harry Mack video. Like I'm just like, I love him. He makes me happy. Like I like watching what he does. It makes me happy. Right. I don't know. I've got a good
you
friend.
You said Clash of Clans, right? There's nothing wrong with having that stuff if that's the mental recharge. And like Bob was saying, he sets an alarm and says, okay, I got 11 minutes. Not I'm going to be here an hour and a half later going, next level. Right? Maybe it's a breath app. Maybe if you're faith-based, it's a Bible app or a devotional app. Maybe it's one of those meditation ones. Calm, I think, is one of the ones that's big on both of the phone platforms that's out there. One of the things that was in the 15-point plan that Ben always used to say to help keep our energy high was that we should laugh every day. So do you go and scroll, cat videos or whatever it is that's going to make you laugh, Bob? You're right. This is intentional recharging, not just mindless scrolling. It's not the doom scrolling that we're doing going through social media and the news headlines. This is purposeful, intentional recharge. Now, Bob, number 5, take that one because that's where you were headed.
Learning on demand. This is what I did. I was telling you recently, I went and met a group of guys. And I don't know, I don't know if most people do this or not, but when I have drives of any length, like I don't do it necessarily when I'm driving my kids to basketball camp. They're on midwinter break right now. I'm going to take them to basketball camp this morning. It's a 5-minute drive. I'm not doing that on that little 5-minute drive back and forth. Generally, I'm just there in my own head thinking about probably what I'm going to do when I get back to my office. But if my drive is 15 minutes or more, I'm using my phone to educate myself somehow, Chad. I just recently did a 2-hour drive where I went to meet with a big group of guys. Ben was there. I listened to 2 different podcasts on the way there. listened to one from Brendan Bouchard, and I listened to one that had Ben in it. Somebody had interviewed Ben. So, it could be audiobooks, right? Like our company has an Audible subscription that I can tap into anytime I want. If there's a book that I want that I'm thinking about reading, I can tap into it on the company Audible, go grab it, listen to that. These days it's been more podcasts for me and kind of focused on people that I respect or that I feel like I could learn something from. Could be YouTube, Chad, with intention, right? It could be like, I want to, it wasn't that long ago that I used my phone. What did I use? I forget what I did recently, but I didn't know how to do it. What was it? When I went to YouTube, I watched a couple tutorials and I'm like, I can do this. So yeah, your phone as a tool to learn on demand. Never in the history of the world have we had as much information at our fingertips, but I think that can be a blessing and a curse, right? Like, am I being purposeful with what I'm learning there? Because if I'm not, all of a sudden I'll be learning about, I don't know, some of the crazy ass shit these kids are doing on TikTok or whatever it is, right? Like I could very easily just be wasting my mental capacity if I'm not intentional about what I'm setting out to learn.
We had to fix a toilet in our house, and it was one of those, smart toilets, all that kind of stuff. I had a plumber friend over here, and he's like, I've never seen a toilet like this. I don't know how to fix it. We were actually watching YouTube videos while we were installing the parts and realizing, we have to take that cable out and that cable out to put it all together. It is an educational tool.
What did you get? You got like a fancy ass toilet? Is that like
we
a
got one of
built-in
those,
bidet?
that and the seat, warm seat and light when the light needs it, and it flushes for you automatically and all that stuff.
So I have this. Is your seat padded? Is it one of those weird padded seats?
No, it's not padded. It's got a heater
porcelain.
in it, though. Yeah.
A heater. So my mother-in-law has one of those at her house. But I can remember my grandma, when I was a kid, had like a padded toilet seat. Do you remember these? Sure. Yeah.
Yep. And then when the padding would tear, that hurt.
Would crack. Yeah. It's like scratching your butt at my grandma's house. Totally.
You never know what we're going to talk about on the Windmaking podcast.
Totally random side note of Grandma Stewart. Shout out to my Grandma Stewart.
Bob, let me recap here. The 6 ways to use your phone to win. And then we'll finish with number 6. Number 1 is use it as a phone, people. And I'm challenging you. 3 calls a day intentionally. 2, use it as a focus tool. Set the do not disturb, not just for when you go to sleep. Set it for your big hours where you need focus to happen. 3, create a vision board. Whatever that is, put it on your phone as the lock screen, desktop screen, both screens, so that it is there inspiring you consciously and subconsciously. Number 4, use it as a mental recharge tool. If you need the time and you have it and you're using it correctly, go listen to some music, go laugh at a video, go play a game, whatever it is you need. Number 5, learning on demand. Like Bob said, we have more information than, ever at our fingertips. Use the phone to actually learn, whether it's, audiobooks, podcasts, and hopefully it's ours, right? YouTube intentionally, things like that. Bob, number 6, it is a way to capture everything. You said you like to listen to if you're going to be in the car more than 15 minutes, you're listening to an Audible book or a podcast and you're using it as a learning. I will tell you, when I go on long drives, I'm using the Notes app and voice memos, and that's how I wrote Achieve Your Apex, right? I would talk and then I would go back and I would be able to turn it into, text that made sense. I will dictate that. I create a new recipe for something I'm cooking. It goes right into Apple Notes. It captures everything for me because ideas are fleeting. And how many times do you have an idea that I forgot to write it down? And then you're like, I don't remember what it is. Use your phone as that personal assistant that no idea should be in your head. You should be able to say it out loud and it's captured forever. Your phone can do that for you because some of your best ideas are coming at times where you're not necessarily sitting in the office ready to write it down.
By the way, so I use my notes a lot to just jot simple little, just like I'm just capturing like, you know what? And a lot of times, I don't know, just kind of the way, like in my evenings after the kids go to bed and I kind of relax and I'll sit down and have some quiet time. It's it's not an appropriate time for me to reach out to my colleagues. Like, I don't even like to Slack them, Chad, or send them a text and say, hey, don't worry about responding until tomorrow. I just don't like doing that. I feel like it's an invasion. Not to Ben, not to Josiah or David Wiggs. If any of you guys are listening, I'll text you at any hour. I don't give a shit. But, like some of our developers are different things. And so I'll always take these notes. The funny thing is I'm looking back through my notes right now. You can blame, like, if you're about to get a text or a Slack from me, you can blame Chad Hyams. He just did this. But there's some stuff back here that I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. Like, yes. I'm like, Matt Mesmer, I'm going to send you something here soon. So yeah, I mean, there's some actually decent ideas back here, some decent questions for our developers that I at one point had, Chad. They were so fleeting that even by the next day, I don't remember them, but I'm looking back here at my notes from 2 weeks ago. And thanks for the reminder.
Hey, you got it. May it lead to success. Folks, you don't need a new device. You just need discipline. Okay? The most powerful tool in your pocket can build your life or bleed it dry. You get to decide which one. That's the thing to remember. Use your phone wisely, possibly to listen to the Win, Make, Give podcast. That is wise use of your phone. Continue doing that. Share that gift with others so they understand one of the powers of their phone can be to listen to Bob and Chad talk about everything from how to use your phone better to cracked plastic cushion toilet seat covers. You never know what's coming out of the Win, Make, Give podcast, folks. We just hope that you'll be here for the next one and the one after that. Make sure you've subscribed. Make sure you've left us feedback. You've given us a 5-star rating, hopefully. And you've given us a little review on the podcast if you haven't before. Heck, if you haven't, do it again. It's been so long. Come back, review us one more time. Share it with everybody. Until our next episode, as always, do good.